there will be a vote in the House to release the Epstein Files. The Epstein Files have been a disaster for the Trump administration from the jump, pretty much right from the get-go. When they handed out the binders, it was going to be phase one of the Epstein release. We heard Pam Bondi on the news telling us the Epstein files were on her desk. Then we heard that there were truckloads of Epstein files that were being delivered to her. And then there was no Epstein files. There was nothing to see here. And then it turned into a disaster. It was a PR disaster for the Trump administration, without a doubt. The Democrats did not wait to seize on that opportunity, despite the fact that for 4 years, while Joe Biden was in office, they had control of the House, control of the Senate. They never even mentioned the word Epstein. They never once showed any interest in helping the victims. They never once showed any interest. They never mentioned the name Epstein. Now, all of a sudden, they're high up on their horse. They want the Epstein files released. So this has been a back and forth thing that's been going on. President Trump encouraged the GOP to vote yes today to release these files, and let's get them all out there. And so that is happening today. Speaker Mike Johnson, prior to the vote, called out the Democrats for being hypocritical. Here it was.
The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time. And not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so interested? They have such an urgent interest in the Jeffrey Epstein matter. The truth is simple and straightforward and obvious for anyone who is willing to look at it objectively. Clearly, this is a political exercise for Democrats and a few others, sadly, and it is as deceitful and dishonest as their pointless stunt to shut down the government.
And Speaker Johnson is 100% correct. The Democrats are being hypocritical here. They showed no interest in the Epstein files. But let me tell you what I believe to be the truth here when it comes, because I just like most of you, all wanted to see the Epstein files and see these big people that were involved in harming these young girls paid a price, see some accountability. We all want this. I think most people, on both sides of the aisle, no matter who you voted for, I think would agree that they want to see people that were taking advantage of these young girls on Epstein Island to pay a price. I think we all agree on that. But here's the problem that I think we're going to face. I do believe that our government, whether it be CIA, whatever it may be, was 100% involved in the operation going on with Jeffrey Epstein. I think 100% that's the case. As I do believe it was with JFK, MLK, and RFK's assassination. Now, what happened with those three? And Trump, even yesterday, he compared it.
Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. With Kennedy, we gave everything, and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything, and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is 50,000 pages. 50,000 pages.
He said, well, I don't really want to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same boat, but he brought this up, saying, look at what happened with the John F. Kennedy case, the assassination. We got 60,000 documents that Trump declassified. What happened when we declassified all the files? The narrative that Oswald acted alone and was a lone gunman has not changed. None of the files that were released with the JFK assassination attempt changed anything. MLK, 240,000 pages Trump declassified. 240,000 pages. How could there even be that many pages involved in this, right? How do you even consume that kind of stuff? You have to feed it to a machine and let AI look at it. It'll take you forever to read something like that. 240,000 pages, MLK. What happened? None of what was released changed the narrative that James Earl Ray acted alone, lone gunman, and killed MLK, Martin Luther King. Robert F. Kennedy assassination, 75,000 pages declassified. What happened as an outcome of all that? Did not change the narrative that Sirhan Sirhan acted alone, lone gunman, killed RFK. So what is going to happen with the release of 50,000 Jeffrey Epstein documents? some of which have already been released, thousands of pages. What is going to change? Nothing's going to change. I don't have any faith that anything will change. Why? Because the CIA or the government is never going to tell on itself. It's never going to give you information to say, look, here's what we did. They're never going to show the world and announce to the world, here, look, we took part in assassinating one of the presidents of the United States. We took part in assassinating RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, senator running for president. We took part in assassinating Martin Luther King, the civil rights activist. The government is never going to give you the information to hang itself, ever. It's never going to do that. And the government, the CIA, is involved 100% in the Epstein case. Now, are there foreign influences here as well? Was Israel involved in this? Did they have a hand in this? I know that is one of the biggest theories that goes along with all of these. Very well possible. If they were, we're never going to find that out. The U.S. government is never going to give up that information ever, if that was a part of it. If they were working together with the Israeli government, if they were working together with any government, they are never going to give the information that will hang itself. It's unfortunate. It's not what we want to hear, but I don't think there's any. Now, I think that knowing that information is why the Democrats are pointing fingers at Trump being on the list. Because I think they understand, because they were in power for 4 years and had access, the higher-ups, Biden and the people that were in it, had the access to the information knowing that it'll never come out. And since they know it'll never come out, now they're not worried about it hurting their own people. So now they feel free to say, everybody can say everybody was on the list because no one's actually going to see the list. No one's going to pay a price for any of this stuff. And that is why the Democrats now are crying about it, saying they know it will distract from Trump's presidency. This is why Trump's calling it a hoax, because Trump knows that no one's going to know what was going on with Epstein. He knows that. He knows that no matter how much information he gives, there will never be answers because it's not allowed. They're not allowed to give out the information that the CIA or our government was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So Trump calls this a hoax. He knows that the Democrats know nothing is going to happen. So it's easy to say he was on the list, he was on the list, and none of it will come out. That's my opinion. Now, they vote today to release the list. We'll see. I have a feeling you'll see a heavily redacted documents that come out, no different than what we saw with the release of thousands of pages from JFK, RFK, MLK. That's my feeling on what was going to happen with this. Are you pissed? Damn right. I think everybody is. We're tired of it. But I just think that's the way it is, guys. I do not believe that we're ever going to get that smoking gun that we think we're going to see, big elites, big names being walked out in handcuffs because of what they did on Epstein. I don't think you're ever seeing that day. And I pray that I'm wrong, but I think you see a lot of opportunistic people jumping on it. Again, the Democrats obviously doing this just like they did with the shutdown. It's a political theater. That's what Mike Johnson had said. He spoke about it. That's the same setup as the government shutdown. It was a way to distract from President Donald Trump. It was a way to just try to put the brakes on his administration, and they succeeded with doing that for 40-something days. And they got that. Just if they could take the few people to think that it was Trump that shut the government down and screwed the military people out of pay and screwed the people on SNAP benefits, which Trump now is saying that you have to reapply for the SNAP benefits. I hope this is true. Reading that the millions of people that are getting SNAP benefits have to reapply. I think the whole thing needs to be scrapped and then rearranged. I really do. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that. But that's my take on Jeffrey Epstein. What say you? Get a comment down below.
You're listening to the Alec Show. The future is family.